Welcome everyone to Monday Masterclass. My name is Andrea Mitchell. I get to run a group of amazing business owners alongside my friend Becky Page and Ellen Ford and Sarah Stewart. We all get to do what's called the table together. And one of the things that we have been doing for almost a year now are these Monday Masterclasses. So learning from people at the top of our company who have gone there and done that and have a story on how they kind of got to this point, but also what they are. Everyone kind of has their own specialty of kind of like what God has gifted them in naturally, their own talents, and that now somehow shines magnificently in this business. It's kind of amazing. If we all sat back and walked through our business testimonial, but also like line that up with what God has taught us kind of in the gifts and talents that he has given us and how that has played out so specifically, and also kind of how the body of Christ mimics so much the body of this business, and everybody kind of has their own lane. So I am excited to introduce y'all to my friend Amber. I think for most of our careers for the last 10 years, Amber has always been touted as like the youngest diamond and, did it so young. But what I've seen grow over the last 10 years is that she's really come into her own as a mom of kids, working the farm, but like such a talent and a gift for communicating how to share who you are on social media in such a way that people want to come up alongside you and not only witness and get to watch your life, and you get to be a testimony to other people just living your life out on social, but bringing them in and going, you can do this as well. I want to come in and nurture you as a person, and hopefully we grow this business together. So Amber's going to tell us her story. She's going to tell us kind of hopefully some of the talking points that she had from convention, because I just thought they were so good. I have all these screenshots. But there is going to be Q&A. So I want y'all to be writing down questions on your own sheet of paper. So the second that we are ready for Q&A, there's no lag in like that wait time. You just unmute and just start asking. So I'm so excited, Amber. I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and get to share finally with you on your masterclass. I apologize about last month. And I am a homeschooler, so I have 4 kiddos that are right outside the door, and hopefully they stay there. If they do not, I apologize. But this is how we build our businesses, right? I love we make it work all the time. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about social media and kind of what I have discovered in all of this. And I love Q&A, so I'm not going to spend like too much time going into too many details so that you can tell me what you want to know more about. But a little bit about my backstory. I started Plexus at 23 years old. I had a 15-month-old son at the time, and my husband worked full-time concrete and construction. We were 19 and 21 when we got married, and we had $300 in the bank and worked so hard. He was constantly working, and I was constantly trying to find ways to earn income from home. And so I was doing multiple side jobs, little things. And Elizabeth Spone and Carl Spone, they're both diamonds in the company. She was my bridesmaids and my friend at 18 years old. And she told me about Plexus. Took a long time to convince me, but I was inspired by the stories I heard, and I thought, if they can, why can't I? And I got started on that. I had a very tiny network, and I knew nobody, and I live in the middle of nowhere. There's not even a stoplight in our town. And what is amazing is there's like 5 diamonds that live here now. Like Sonia Dudley is from here, Shoshana and James Easling, Kristen Abart, Jarrett Abart. They're all from this tiny little town. So if you don't have a wide network, it's still possible, right? But I live in this tiny little area, and I went diamond, shockingly, without utilizing social media the first time around. And so I really like to say this because I think sometimes someone might see my social media following now on Instagram. That's where I'm mainly at, and think I can't reach the top unless I have that many followers or that type of social media account. That was something that I used to have stuck in my head. But I really want to just make sure everyone knows, while it's a great thing to build and I love talking about it and I love tapping into it, I went diamond without it. So because it's not the follower amount, it's the connection amount that you have with people. And that's what I'm really going to push on today, because even with a large following, it still remains true. You could have 100,000 followers, but if you do not have a connection with your people, it really does not equal into much, or it will fizzle out quickly. I had a girl constantly saying how badly she wanted to go viral and she needed more followers, and she was like fixated on this no matter what I said. Well, it finally happened for her. She put some little reel up that it was just this silly little reel. She went viral. She got like 40,000 followers. She felt on top of the world. And she just told me yesterday, you were right, Amber. It meant nothing. Like, it hasn't changed the amount of orders I'm getting. It hasn't changed anything as far as my business goes. So I just want to make sure, like, we don't fixate too much on that, right? So you can be diamond without major followers, but it is a great funnel if you can grow a connection with your social media. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I kind of broke this down into a little acronym. I love acronyms when we talk about social media. So it's going to be OPEN. That's our acronym, OPEN. We're going to open our business on social. The first one is the offer when we're talking about social media. And I make this the first and foremost, because if we are not offering out and you're just waiting for people to come to you, and that happens, right? That whole, remember when that attraction marketing was a big deal back in the day? Like, just if you're good enough, people will come to you. That still is not the case. I still have to go to people, especially high quality people. If I want the high quality business builders, I have to reach out to them and ask them if they're interested in what I have. I can't just wait for them to come to me, even with almost 100,000 followers, right? So you still have to make the offer. My favorite offer message on social media is, has anyone taken the time to share Plexus with you? It's like someone said the other day, it's like going from McDonald's to Chick-fil-A with versus, can I share info with you, right? Like, that's asking them to do a favor for you. Hey, can I share this with you? Versus, has anyone taken the time to share Plexus with you, or to see if it could add value to your life? Right? I love that message, and it gets a lot of attention. So make offers. You still have to make offers. Let's go into the next is P, which is posting, right? How to post. So Facebook and Instagram are different. But the cool thing with this is that on how to post, that Facebook, the way you post on Facebook is also the way that you utilize stories on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to go over the 5 types. I had to cut my convention talk into 7 minutes, so I only gave 4 different types of posts. But there's 5 that we're going to go over. So you get a bonus one. And these posts are the exact same thing you should be doing in your stories on Instagram and Facebook, okay? And I connect the two. And I also will often rotate between these 5 styles in the same day on stories, because that's very easy to do. So the posts are recommendations. So I talked about that at convention. There's the big word value that is very intimidating. Add value to people, right? And I used to be like, oh my goodness, I have to come up with like a John Maxwell quote of my own, like, to add value. Like, it felt so overwhelming. Or like, come up with something new under the sun, and the Bible says it's not possible. Like, so overwhelming. And then something clicked of that value is just helpful. It's just something that's helpful to other people. And that can be the simplest thing. And so I like to do this. Yeah, add value would intimidate me too, Vicki. I love to do this when I'm training new people, this exercise of look at what's on your desk or in front of you right now. Would you recommend anything of that to a fellow mom, or to a fellow lady, or to a whoever, fellow type of person? And do you have anything in front of you? So go ahead and put it in the chat. Is there anything in front of you that you would recommend? I have this like aspartame free gum that I get auto shipped on Amazon that I could recommend. I have these keto chocolate cups from Evolved. They're absolutely incredible that I love. A candle that my friend makes and has a small business, right? Like there's so many things. Face bronzer, yes, a lip balm favorite, new vitamin container, like prayerful planner. That sounds amazing. Like I would love some of these. Some of these things you're dropping in the chat, a weekly planner tear off, like that's helpful. So that is value to your audience. Um, so I love a lot of times. So I'm like, I don't really know what to post today. Or I don't know what to put in my stories. I will just literally glance around my house and be like, oh, that's a recommendation I can make and pull it off the shelf. Now, when you do this, if you're doing it in your stories, do not put the link for it. This is a mistake I have been making. Do not put the link for it. People used to say, oh, I can't wait to get the link. In the back in the day, you had to have 10,000 followers to be able to link it. But that instantly cuts off your opportunity for connection with another person. I want someone to have to ask me for the link because now we're in DMs together. Right? So like I shared a dress the other day and I said, DM me for the link. And I instantly, now I'm in DMs with 40 new people, you know, that I get to talk back and forth with and chit chat and come up with something creative to make that a deeper connection. So recommend something in your stories, try for once a day or every other day and say, DM me for the link. Right. And then start up. That's an instant DM conversation right there. And then a post, make a recommendation post. So that's my first. Next would be questions. This causes engagement, right? And we've seen this on social media, and you can look up. Sometimes I'll Google question starters, you know, icebreakers. Like try to find just Google options if you need options. You know, what's your favorite color in this dress? Like which one should I buy? Or what are your favorite tennis shoes? Or school books, you know, curriculums. I do homeschool curriculums. Just ask questions. Do it in your stories and do it in a post. Both are really, really great. Stories. Remember, our number one goal is to get people in DMs, whether it's on Facebook or on Instagram. It's to get into DM messages with people, one-on-one messages. So if you can get them to answer you, then ask them about it. Okay, so why did you choose that one over a different option? And deepen that conversation. Don't just say thanks. This is your chance to deepen these conversations with people. So questions, so recommendations, questions. Next would be basic, but your face. So this means like posting a photo with, Andrea, you're great at this when I was scrolling your wall, with your face. Because so often I have gone to be like a new person's in my feed, or I meet someone and I want to do my Facebook investigation on them, right? You know, we've all been done there, and I'll go to their Facebook wall and I'm like, they don't have a new profile since like 2009, or it's like a picture of a flower or something like that, right? But your face is your brand. Your face is your brand. When someone sees it, if you have done a good job of showing up as yourself, when someone sees your face, they instantly, without it's subconscious, like scroll through what they know about you. Like I might see Andrea's face and I immediately think of Ella, right? Like, because that's such a key factor point of what I know about her. Someone might see my face if they watch my social media and think of cows, because I'm constantly sharing cows, right? We have a dairy and it's my obsession. Like it's what they think of immediately, but that's your face. So if you're not showing it, it's a missed opportunity to grow connection. And on stories, that looks like talking to the camera. So many people are terrified of this, but that is how they hear your energy. That's how they feel connection. That's how they feel comfortable with you. It's like being in a room and getting face-to-face time with somebody. Talk to the camera. It feels weird at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And with those in stories, always put captions. Not the caption like where it transcribes it for you, but where you actually have to type it out and it sits on the screen. It doesn't have to be word for word, but like minimize what you're saying into a caption, because people rarely will listen to your whole story, because we sit there and we go through stories like this, right? We just click, 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 click. But we read a lot faster than we will listen. So we can read a couple sentences accidentally without even trying to, but then we know what the person's talking about and we'll skip on. So put that caption in here, and when you're talking your stories. Next would be your interests, which could be hobbies or lifestyle. interest or lifestyle. I use both words because my interest isn't homeschooling. Like I'm not obsessed with homeschooling, but that's my lifestyle. So that's what I do. So that's something that I can share every day. Like, and it creates, here's what it does. When you share the same type of thing daily or several times a day in your stories or your posts, it creates trust because of the consistency. So sometimes I'm like, man, this is so old news. People are going to be tired of seeing my cow or me at the homeschool table, like these photos I show, but it just breeds the trust from consistency. It helps them know who you are because she's always doing that thing, and it breeds trust and consistency. So that's why you want to do it on repeat, right? So don't feel like I've shared this a million times, like keep it up because that's how they'll know you. So whether that's gardening or running or you're doing a house remodel project or in the car line, like if every day you're in the pickup line at school, create some sort of storyline with that. Like maybe you're listening to a podcast every time you're in the pickup line. And you can show the podcast of the day, pickup line podcast of the day, and just share the little screenshot of it on your story, right? It creates this it's familiarity that people love. We love consistency. Next would be plexus. So we have recommendations, questions, your face, interest or lifestyle, and then fifth is plexus, of course. So not everybody is seeing your story every single day. Not everyone is seeing every single post. We tend to think like, I share this all the time, everybody knows. I'm shocked. If I put up a picture of my pink drink right now on my stories, I will have people say, what is that? And I'm like, seriously? I talk about this all the time. But they're either like just clicking through and not paying attention, or they haven't watched my stories in 2 or 3 weeks and it popped up for them, right? Same thing with your posts. If you're not showing plexus consistently, and I want it to be a brand, I want people to see my face and I want them to think cows and plexus, right? And kids maybe, like I want them to think that because I want to be their plexus person so that when they see everyone else post about it, they come to me because I'm the most consistent showing up for them and the most passionate. And they're like, if I need help, she could probably help me because everyone else shares about it sometimes, but she shares about it all the time. Right. And the other thing I've thought is like, well, people say I don't want to be salesy. It's not salesy. It's showing, it's like business ownership. It's like, this is what I do. This is what I have. I'm confident in it. It's confidence. It's not salesy. If it's consistent, woven in with the other 4 things I gave you. If it's just plexus, then you're a billboard, but woven in and it's part of who you are. Right. And the reason all those things are important on Facebook posts and in your stories is because that is why somebody will lean in and come to you for plexus information, because you have created that trust, that familiarity, that know factor. They know you. Because if they just saw plexus on other people's feeds and they wanted it, they could go to plexus.com, Plexus Worldwide, and order it, right? Like, why do they order from us as individuals? Because they want to be with you in that trust. So showing up in all those ways, it's not fancy. It's not some crazy out of, wild, amazing interest from we're not a reality TV show, TV stars, right? We're just average people. But if we show up in that averageness, but with consistency, that's when they'll lean in and order plexus from us. So that's P, that's posting. When it comes to posting, Instagram is very different than Facebook because Instagram, the best way I can describe it is it's your magazine. It's a magazine, your Instagram feed. Okay. It's a magazine. So when people come to your wall, new people, and they choose to click follow, it's because they see content that they want to see in their feed often or read again. Does that make sense? So it's not like so much pictures of your family or stuff about you. It's stuff for them. If you think about that, Facebook, it's more like engaging one-on-one. It's more like stories brought to feed. Instagram is stuff for them. So, and this might seem harder than it is because I want you to think about this. Like some of my team, I'll tell them, go on Pinterest and look up like mom hacks or summer recipes when summer was a thing, like easy summer recipes. Find some things and turn it into a easy reel, or turn it into a slideshow, like a carousel. Carousels are really big with steps. Use free Canva. They have templates already built for you that you can literally import a picture and change the text, right? And turn it into a carousel swipe through. Like one mom did like popsicles, like really basic stuff. Save this for an easy summer snack, or save this for a school snack or back to school lunch, and it immediately causes someone, okay, that's value for me. This is something for me. I will click follow because I want this type of content in my feed. So that is what Instagram posts should be about. You can totally put some about your family, but it has to be probably 80% for the audience, to teach them something, give them an idea or whatever. When I need ideas, I scroll reels. I look at it and I think, how could I make my own version of this? Like, do I have a way I could say this? Do I have a way I could do this with trending audios? So that's Instagram. But the next one would be E, which is engage. So we're going to talk about Instagram more with this, because here's a way that you can grow on Instagram more. Engage. So it is more about someone feeling noticed and seen by you than waiting for everybody to find you, right? So for example, there is this woman that she just recently came to me for Plexus, and I was shocked because like there's a lot of reasons I thought she wouldn't be interested in Plexus, right? But we have grown a connection on Instagram. I like her, just her. I comment on her stories. I comment on her posts. She watches my stories because I watch her stories. So there's this back and forth thing. I'm grateful she came to me for Plexus. Easily I could have missed that. Like, I'm just like, thank you, Lord. She could have gone to somebody else because I wasn't bold enough to reach out and ask her. I just assumed, right? So never assume, please never assume. But with people on Instagram, if you want to share Plexus with them, do not wait for them to come to you. Do not think, if I have a bigger following. Don't think if I had better content. No, it's if they have familiarity with you, which you can force and create by your engagement on their content. We so much wait to be noticed and seen when we're just should be noticing and seeing other people at a higher degree than others, and building up, because that creates the open door. It builds credit with them so that we can ask, has anyone shared this with you? And they actually pay attention versus us being a cold stranger, right? So find those people. Like, if you love someone's content on Instagram, don't think she won't notice or see me. You go out and make yourself be noticed and seen. Comment on all her stuff. I guarantee you, like, it doesn't matter if she has 100,000 followers. She will notice you if you're constantly in her space. If you're constantly commenting on her things, asking questions, commenting on the posts she makes, because that's what she wants, someone to see and notice her Instagram stuff, right? So build up that credit with her. Go to Instagram accounts that you love. Like there's this Bible study account called Well Watered Woman that I like, that when I was really trying to create a lot of traction, go to accounts that are the type of women that you like. Like, I might go to Homesteaders of America, Well Watered Woman, a homeschool curriculum I like. Go to their posts and look at who's commenting on their posts, and then go. What I would do is I would find someone like, Shelly, somebody left a good comment on this Bible study account, click on her, and I see, okay, she's an active Instagrammer. That's what I'm looking for, an active Instagrammer. She has stories up. She has posts up. This is someone that I have the potential to make a connection with. So then I would go watch her stories and put her on my following friend list, so that I could create engagement with her over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, until someone will always ask me, when should I know when to reach out to somebody new? Like, how do I know when I can ask them if they're interested in Plexus? And I just always say it's different for everyone. I've asked someone if they're interested in Plexus within our first conversation, because it was just appropriate. And I've also had to wait longer because that's more appropriate. I use the example of myself. If they asked me if I was interested in their product, would I feel inclined to answer or pay attention because I have a familiarity with this person? Would I be like, oh, it's the such and such account? Like, I talk to them all the time and I want to be kind and polite, so I'm going to answer that, right? Or I get a lot of people that I have no idea and it's a copy paste message, right? How much time do you suggest spending on this type of relationship building? Okay, it's not relationship building. So, and I only say this because people get hung up on the word relationship. I'm not saying you do. I'm just, relationship to us always feels like this deep connection. It is just familiarity. It's just creating, like, I know a lot of people's IG names that I talk to all the time, but I don't even know their actual real name. I just know their IG account name. And so if that account came across and messaged me about products that they loved, or has anyone taken the time to share XYZ with me, I would be like, oh, it's, you know, Happy Heart Home 23. You know, we talk all the time. So I'm going to respond back to her. So if you feel like if they messaged you, you would respond back. Doesn't mean you have to be interested, but you would respond back. Then it's the right time to message them. That's my guideline that I use that has served me pretty well. Okay, so the close friends thing, I'm going to show this really quick because, oh, can I share my screen, Andrea? Because a lot of people I've come across don't know this, and it's so helpful when you're going to take time to engage on Instagram, because you want to make the most of your time. You don't want to just be scrolling and like hoping someone pops up that you can comment and like on their stories. So 2 tips for you. One, if you find an account, you know these people, you want to grow that connection with. There's this little circle, that thing I circled, this head with a plus sign. You click that, okay? And then you go to, so I would have like people, I would click this heart sign and have all these people, and they were the people I was trying to make this familiarity with. So I could go offer Plexus to them, right? And then during your social media engagement time, if you click the Instagram symbol on the left, this drop down tab will pop up, and you could click to on your following or your favorites, and it brings up your feed changes to only those people that you have chosen to follow or favorited, or your subscriptions if you subscribe. And so what that would do would instantly take me, change my Instagram feed to be only those people that I had selected that I was trying to, you know, target. Sounds like such an aggressive word, but you know what I mean, like grow that with. And then I could spend my time and really quickly, in 10 minutes or less, be commenting on all the new stuff or watching all the new stories and be done. And I love that. Another thing that is really helpful is to go to your current stories. And if you swipe up on your current stories on Instagram, you'll see everyone that has seen your story. If that person has a story up, there'll be a ring around their profile image. And if you click their profile image, it will actually take you immediately to their story, not to their profile. So that is a really fast way to swipe up on your latest story, see who's seen it, especially your Plexus ones, right? Who saw those Plexus ones. And then quickly go to their stories, comment on their recent story, then go to the next, comment on the recent story, go to the next. And that is the engagement time that you should be utilizing on Instagram, not just random scroll. Choose your people, go to them through the feed list, go to your story when maybe 24 hours, so it's about to expire. You know, everyone who has seen it has gonna see it, and get into their DMs on something else. And remember who those people are, because those are your highest hot list. People watching your story that have not messaged you yet about Plexus are your hottest potentials, because you're constantly layering this Plexus information, and they probably just need to be asked, has anyone taken the time to see if Plexus could serve you? For me, it helped with X, Y, and Z. And laying that out on the floor, right? Okay, so, and that's engaging on Instagram. That's how I do it. Facebook, use the close friend list. They still have that feature on Facebook. Google how to do it, and scroll that every day instead of random scrolling on Facebook. So we're hitting the right people we want to. And that is how you engage. Okay, last one is new network. So we're offer, post, engage, and N is in your new network. This is people that you are bringing in, you're warming them up so that you can see if they have a need for Plexus. And I always tell people, like, I used to get some pushback on this, like, oh, I feel like I'm being fake then. Like if I'm engaging on their accounts and it's because I want to share Plexus. And I'm like, no, I am doing the longer, harder work of building trust and credit with this person so that when I offer them something that I fully believe could bless their life, they actually pay attention. Instead of just like, oh, sending Plexus messages out randomly, and knowing that it's most likely going to just fall on deaf ears because I haven't built up credit yet. And then they're going to miss out on something that could really bless them. So I'm like, no, I'm doing the harder work by warming that up, right? I'm doing the longer servant work. Okay, so new network. This is going to be people you meet in person and you're adding them to social media because that's like being in the same room with them every single day. So if you meet a new mom at your kid's school, I tell my friends, like, if you have the opportunity, go to everything you can, network in person and friend them on social media, always. Whether it's Bible study group, moms groups, meetups, like anything you can go to. I used to drive over an hour to take my 4-year-old to a homeschool co-op, which now I'm like, why was I doing that with a 4-year-old? But I was so anxious to get in a group with new people because this is back when I was trying to build the diamond. I needed new face-to-face. If you can get face-to-face with someone, you can like 10x your social media time with them. You can go from like stranger to familiarity very fast. If you can get in face-to-face. So meet people in person, add them on social, put them on your close friends list so you can work on engaging with them so they can see your stuff and know your stuff. And you can build that trust to be able to make an offer. Leave significant comments on Instagram because you will get noticed. So we notice. So have you ever like seen a reel and then you go to the comments to see who's commenting on this? And the ones that are like significant comments, you're like, oh, what did she say? And a lot of times it'll be like, I want to go see this person's account. So leaving significant, and that could be 2 sentences or more, because most people are just emoji leavers these days, it's going to make you stand out. So leave significant comments and new people will find you that way. Find accounts you really enjoy, and friend their active followers. We went through that already. And then put out reels. Create reels, and the awesome thing about reels these days is it's like 3-second clips. 3-second clips of B-roll footage, which is like I could put my phone over there and record myself talking to the screen, and that's B-roll footage. It's behind the scene footage. So it doesn't even have to be interesting, with like some word on the screen, with some wording on the screen. And what happens is you put a lot of content on the screen. So let's say you put 3 tips of how to organize your house or whatever, and you put them, you say check the caption, they click the caption comes up, but your reel is playing in the background that 3 seconds, and every time that reel plays, Instagram sees it as another view, and so they think, man, people really love this, but it's really because you're sitting there reading this caption that had some value for you, right? So the cool thing about this, it's no longer about being some incredible film reel creator, right? It's just about getting a 3-second clip and putting a caption that is of value. And if you need ideas, go to Pinterest, look up ideas, right? You could even put your favorite lines from a book. Read this if you need encouragement. And it's like you quoted a book, a paragraph of a book, and then you give the book credit, but the person sat there and read it on your caption screen and got views, right? So that's views, and then people come over and will follow you from that. The follow doesn't mean anything. You still got to work on getting them in your stories and breeding connection there. But we talked about that, how to do that in our post option. So that's a lot, but what I would say from this, and we can do Q&A, is, and I pick something that really stood out to you as very helpful from what we just went over on social media, and just start there. Don't get overwhelmed by having to do all the things. What would really make a significance in your business? Is it the engaging? Is it the showing up in your stories this way? Like pick one of these things and apply it. And then come back and watch again and pick another thing. I think sometimes it can be like so big. We're like, where do we start? Just start on one little thing. But hopefully that's helpful.
Are you kidding me? I'm like back and forward, like writing sideways, like all of it's so much. Here's here's what I knew was going to happen. And here's my very favorite thing. It's so applicable. You can take it off this sheet of paper and like highlight one thing, like Monday, this is my thing, and you can apply it today. And Tuesday, this is my thing, and you can apply it on Tuesday. And there's so much mindset and flipping of words. I loved it when you said it's not building a relationship, it's building familiar. I can't say the word.
Familiarity. I always feel weird saying it too.
Isn't that funny? It's like a tongue twister. Familiarity. Can't even write it. But I just think like when you like flip that switch in your brain from like here to what if you just thought about it or here? It's not salesy. What if it's actually just being helpful or value to helpful? Like all of those things, so helpful. But I'm excited to hear everybody's questions. So unmute yourself and ask a question. Like faster it goes, the more we'll get to. Who has the first one?
I'll have the first one. Okay, so how often do you suggest you actually post on your Facebook wall? Not stories, but actually posting.
I feel like ideally would be at least once a day if you're rotating between these 5 types of posts. So you could do one every single day, a different. So recommendation Monday, question on Tuesday, face on Wednesday, a interest or lifestyle Thursday, Friday you end with plexus. And like you just rotate between those. If you want to go faster, twice a day and rotate between those. I think
Twice a day is okay.
But once a day is great. Yeah, once a day would be
good. Twice is good. It's not too much.
No, it's not too much because not everybody sees your stuff.
Okay.
And if you're rotating between this style, you're not just like one note.
Right.
You know, it's a variety. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I see this question from Holly. After you make the ask and what do you say? What do you send? Okay. So bonus training. This is my favorite. I follow the exact same conversation flow and teach everyone to do it. Never deviate, pretty much. So you make the offer. They say yes, that they're interested. Then you ask them their need. Always ask them their need because it doesn't matter what you send then. You got to have that need. So that I can send you the best information for you, what is the main thing you're struggling right now? Or what would you be looking for in a home income stream? I don't like the word business. I don't use that anymore. I found that was really like quick to turn people off. So I use income stream because everyone wants that. Business is big, right? So so basically ask their need. Then when they give you their need, you relate, completely understand. I know where you're coming from. That was me too. Or this, just chit chatty. You're being comfortable with them in that conversation. I love voice messages. Oh my goodness. Voice messages are gold. Then it's testimonies. I don't send info. I'm sending testimonies. So I have a testimony stock on my phone. One thing John Maxwell said at our leader thing was he said he files every day. Every single day he files. And it's really stood out to me because I was like, well, what could I file in my business? You guys, how many times do you have to go search for a video, search for a graphic, search for a testimony, search for this, search to remember names? We file what we use during the day. So now I've tried to get really good. Every time I use something, file it somewhere. The Boards app is what I use. So store it in your phone. I send them a testimony and I just have like a few that relate to all women that I've just found in our testimony group that I like, that fit in an actual screenshot, and then I send the photo. And so I'll say, does this sound like where you are and where you want to be? Because I'm asking them, can you put yourself in this story? And also asking them, can you envision what she's saying she feels like? And that's powerful, right? And then they say yes. Most of the time they always say yes, or they might give me a little bit more detail. And then I go, okay, then this is the pack based on what you shared. This is the pack for your needs. Here is the link for it. And I know everyone does this different. I don't get on the phone with them because it's not super conducive to my lifestyle. So I just say, here's the link, here's the info sheet, especially the triplex. So they know that they have it. So they don't feel like they have to ask for ingredients because they probably don't really care, but they have it, right? Here is the cart. Let me know when you order so I can send you some tips to get started. That is the ideal message flow. Sometimes they're like slow and I have to check back in, but that is the flow in conversation. It's worked really well. Do you ever send the health quiz? I personally don't, but if it's working for you, do it. Like I always say, like, don't change something that's working for you. If it's working for you, if your upline says to do something because it works for them, do it. I don't, I just usually go through those steps, and I use triplex or the active lifestyle one that used to be called that. It's the custom to active, slim, and ease. And those are probably the two that I sell out the most. And then reset if they're wanting weight loss added on there. How do you train your team to do this in bite-sized chunks with someone still apprehensive to share? Okay, so this is a new thing I'm trying, and it's working really well. You know the notes on your phone and how you can type something and make a bullet point on your phone, like you can turn it into bullet points. So with my new girls, I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you some things to do today. Let me know when you do them and we'll check them off the list. I don't know about you, but it's such a dopamine hit when I check something off a list and like laughing and all of that. And I'll send them like 3 little things to do and a little list at the top with little bullet points. Like make a post, do this. They do it. And I check it off the list and I send them an update of their screenshot notes. I'm like, look, checked 1. How does it feel? And they're like, oh, I love this. And so that's been kind of a fun way to walk them through the steps of what they should be doing. And I just have them make a post, have them put up a story. I might send them a story that they could put up, right? Have them make an offer and I send them a message, send this to 3 people and send me a screenshot of what they send back. And then it's wash, rinse, repeat of this. And teaching them what to say, I say it with them. I'm like, send me a screenshot. You have to, and I'll tell them, just you have to send me the screenshot so that I can guide you through like the ideal plexus conversation, because I've done this so many times and I want to help you through that. That's how I do that. Hand holding. Yeah, Becky. It's like, I basically think of trying to get them to let me do all the work through them to teach them how to do it. And then they pick it up real fast. Let me see. Do you utilize 3-way chats? I do if my person wants to do that. Like I personally wouldn't want to be put in a 3-way chat, but some people do and they know their friend or their family member. And so I'll say like, hey, and if you want to put them in a 3-way chat and you think that they would like that, then put them in a 3-way chat with me and I'll give them ideas and suggestions or whatever. So I offer it, but I don't say everyone has to, because I think different people utilize that differently. Let's see if there's any more I missed or if anyone wants to unmute and ask anything.
I'd love for y'all to put in the chat, what's the thing that you're going to switch up today? Like, what's the thing that you're like, okay, today, this is the one small bite-sized thing I feel like I can do today. Yeah. The types of posts and I think going back and looking at your Instagram and going, is my Instagram about them and my Facebook about me? I thought that was really interesting that my Instagram should actually be about them. Like when they look at, they should want to be a part of that. And my Instagram or my Facebook is really more about me. I think that's great. So I think it's fun sometimes, especially like for Amber, like you just talked for 45 minutes. It's like, oh, okay, there's some things that like actually like were helpful. That's so great. Cause it can be hard sometimes. If no one else has a question.
I actually have a quick question. And I cornered Amber after convention just to tell her how much I enjoy her. You do such a good job of educating. And I love that about you. And I think you're such an amazing trainer. Okay. So what are you, and I if you don't know this about Amber, but Amber on her YouTube channel, she's got a lot of great like opportunity events that she's hosted, and she's got those videos there. They're awesome. Like I have utilized one of her calls with a doctor that she interviewed who's now like a Ruby or senior Ruby. It's been so great for people in the medical field. Okay. But my question, Amber, is what are you doing right now for opportunity events for your team? And what's it looking like as far as converting people from VIPs to folks who are working their businesses?
Okay, so this is fun. This is a new thing. And I'm a big believer in use something until it doesn't work and then figure something else out, right? Like constantly. So right now I'm going to every single VIP. Every single VIP is asked if they have interest in our referral program. Call it a referral program. I've been looking at the 3 for 300, connect 3, receive 300 as its own program, like Fast Start Silver, right? Because if they want to go on to earn a income stream after that, and most people do, I have such higher ground. So I kind of bring them in with a 3 for 300, and we're putting them in a chat right now. So they get in a chat, and it's a 4 or 5 day chat. So it's an offer out and it's a voice message. So it's just like, hey, so-and-so, I know that your products are just on their way right now. Maybe they're just on their way, or you've been really loving them for the last few months, whatever it is. I am starting a $300 referral chat for women who want to tap in, right? Tap into our referral program, where if you share your link with 3 people, you get $300 back. Do you want to be added to that? And then it's a yes. I'm like, okay, great. And these are micro asks, right? So like Genevieve says micro asks. So I just get there like, sure. Yeah. Okay. And then if they say yes, then I show them more information. Okay, great. I'm going to put you in the chat. We're going to just go through a few steps all together with other ladies who are all on the same page as you, with the goal of having 3 people use these products with you and get a welcome pack like you did. And when that happens, you're going to earn that around $300 back in bonuses for sharing with your first 3 people. Like, so that's just how I'm walking that through. We put them in a chat, keep it super high energy and fun. Andrea, I can send you the boards, or Becky, the board that we did off of this. And in the chat, we just had them. First, we start off like, tell me about yourself, tell me an intro. How do you want to, what, if someone gave you $300 right now and you had to spend it on yourself, what would you spend it on? Like, to make it fun, right? And then it's make a post, and we give them ideas to make a post. It's the next day, it's make a story, and send this offer to 3 people. We don't call it an offer, but ask 3 people if they want to do these with you. And then it's invite to a messenger chat. And then we have a messenger info chat party that they invite to. Now, out of that, rarely does someone go silver out of those couple days. Only the people that have those good friends and family that are like, sure, yeah, send me the link, I'll do it, because some people have those. Some other people, though, it got them in those first action steps. And we make the community really fun, like tons of GIFs and like little fun things in there. And then it's, hey, we have a Zoom. If you want to know about how to go 300 and beyond, and you really like this and see what we do on this side of things, we're doing a Zoom. And then they get on the Zoom with us. And then we vision cast, talk about like what this looks like, to layering exposures and follow up. And we're going to have a messenger chat every once a week. And you can keep inviting people to that. Do you want to be in our 300 and beyond chat? And then they're in like a 300 and beyond, where we're like, hey, today go do this, send an offer out, do that hand holding, but kind of in a group setting, so that they have that cheerleading community vibe. And that's how I'm taking VIPs and translating them into hopefully Fast Start Silvers. I have 2 Fast Start Silvers from this so far, and we just put this into play this month. And the 2 are like wannabe business builders. They're like newbie business builders. And I'm like, awesome. And I never knew that was there until they started in that way. So that's been really fun, to take new people through that. And yeah, I'll send the boards, and you guys can use that. But hopefully that and I'm always about like, give me new ideas. Like, I want to try something new. Like, I love implementing new things, and they're always fun.
Okay, Amber, this was amazing. I mean, it's literally like now I've got double sheets of paper that I've
Good.
written on. I think it's just so applicable. It gives us something to do. It feels like you're actually like, you're not just putting out like new posts, you're actually putting out posts with a purpose of how you're going to streamline people. Not only are you like, just to recap, everyone is out there, you've got your offer out there, you are posting, you're engaging, you're building your new network, but at the same time you're doing all this, you have a conversation piece to say, here's like, now that we're in that DM, now that we're in a message together, here's how I want to actually introduce Plexus to you because it's the right time. It's actually, it feels like it's really natural in the conversation that we're already having. And then, okay, now I can walk you through. I love the, what are you looking for in an income stream? Walking them all the way through signing up. And then once they're signed up, Amber gave you all the way through like how to get them into that 3 for $300 and then $300 and beyond. Like you can literally go from I am engaging and I am getting familiar with people on social media today, all the way through how to get them to fast start silver. I mean, that's a lot more than your $3 1 hour, masterclass of, no one paid $3 for this, but it's so much value, true actual value, for the last 45 minutes, 50 minutes of talking. Amber, thank you so much for taking time away from the dairy farm, away from canning tomatoes, away from your
homeschooling. Thank you for the break. It was nice.
Y'all go follow Amber because it's so fun. I live in Dallas and Amber's world could not be more different than what I go through on a daily basis. And it is like a reprieve to my heart. I'm like, tell me more about your cow today, please, because I'm struggling, drinking smog here in Dallas. So it is just a delight to know you. It is a delight to watch all of us grow up, but to watch you go from being 23 to 33, it's such a difference in just our worlds, and it's so much fun. Thank you for being willing to take an hour out of your day to pour into us, and it is such a gift.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great Monday. Bye.
Bye, Becky. Bye, Andrea. Thank you.